I'm sure everyone's looking to have a great time in college, but it's really important to set yourself up for success so that you can really get off on the right foot. But fortunately for you, I just graduated from Stanford University, and here are 10 pieces of advice for college students. Number 1, take a good student ID picture. You do not want to carry around a really terrible picture of yourself for 4 years. Your student ID is something you're going to have to carry with you at all times, and it's also going to be the picture that shows up next to your name on the school's directory and really anywhere else on the school's website where you might show up. So please make sure to take a good picture for it. You'll thank me later. If you're going to be taking the picture at your school, be sure to make yourself look at least somewhat presentable. This means wearing a nice top, making sure your hair is done, and at least brushing your teeth in the morning. And if you're going to be submitting your own picture for your student ID, I urge you to try to get looking as professional as possible. You could even get an actual professional headshot done if you so desire. And I know plenty of people have done that. This picture is going to be everywhere, so please make sure that it's a good one. Number 2, find someone to be roommates with so that you don't have to go random. Having a random roommate is one of the worst decisions you can make in college. If you have the ability, please find someone to be your roommate. At least in that case, you're gonna have some agency over who you're gonna be living with for the better part of a whole year. And you can also make sure that they're at least somewhat normal. I've heard so many horror stories of people having the most terrible and bizarre roommates that you wonder if they're even real. You do not want to be like these people. At the very least, if your school does roommate matching surveys or something of that manner, fill that out and be as brutally honest as you can. Please, protect your peace. Number 3, look up reviews for your classes and professors before enrolling. You do not want to be taking classes with a professor that has a 1-star review on Rate My Professor. And you also don't want to be taking really difficult classes when there are much easier options out there. Please do yourself a favor and do some research on the classes you want to take and the professors that teach them. That way you can hear what past students had to say about them and how they experienced the class. This way you can potentially dodge a bullet by not taking a class that you don't need to, or taking a class with a more lenient professor. It's also helpful to get a sense for what you should expect going into that class so that you aren't blindsided when you find out that they have weekly quizzes or problem sets that take days to complete. Number 4, learn how to do your laundry. I feel like I shouldn't have to say it and that it's already really painfully obvious, but there are so many people who don't already know this, so I'm gonna say it again. You should have learned your basic life skills by the time you go to college. You'll be surprised by how many people come into freshman year of college without even knowing how to do their laundry. Doing your laundry is not that hard, and it's something that you're going to be doing all the time. And it's going to be so embarrassing if you show up to the laundry room in your first week of college and have to ask another person there how to operate the laundry machine. So I highly suggest that you just take the time now while you're still at home and learn how to wash your own clothes. Number 5, get a credit card. I think this is a little controversial, but I really recommend getting a credit card once you're in college. Some people will say that it's a bad idea because you can easily fall into debt, but I think that's really only if you don't know what you're doing. On the other hand, if you handle things wisely, you'll be able to use your credit card effectively to pay for things while also building your credit score up. Building your credit is going to be really important for when you have to take out loans in the future for something like a house or a car. So building credit now while you're young is a really good idea. Lots of credit cards also have perks like travel points or cashback, so if you don't learn how to use a credit card, you're really just leaving money on the table. And so if you want to learn more about how to get started with building credit, leave a comment down below. Number 6, scout out your housing options. You'll quickly come to find that not all college dorms are made equal. Some of them are a lot nicer and a lot newer than others. Me personally, I happen to really luck out and get the nicest dorm on campus, where I get a really big room to myself and also a personal bathroom, but I definitely know plenty of people who drew the short end of the stick and had to live in a tiny shoebox and share a bathroom with like 30 other people. Sometimes it's going to be out of your control, but if you have some say in, for example, ranking which dorm you want to live in, it is so worth it to do some research into the different housing options your college has. And I mean, in the worst case scenario, you can save that information for when you're looking for housing in the following year. Number 7, start thinking about applying to internships. The truth of the matter is that if you're a computer science major, you're cooked. And if you're an econ or finance major, you're also kind of cooked. You need to be starting to think about internships as early as right now. Lots of companies post their applications for summer internships a whole year in advance, which means that if you want a summer internship for 2025, you need to be applying like right now. I know it's typically harder to get something as a freshman, but it really doesn't hurt to start getting your feet wet in the internship application grind. This will also force you to start thinking about your professional goals a little bit earlier, so it'll help frame how you navigate the start of your college experience as you're thinking about internship and job prospects. You also don't want to be a loser without an internship next summer, so start applying now. Number 8, Set realistic expectations for yourself. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but college is not going to be some magical experience that completely turns your life around and makes everything in the world right almost immediately. I mean, it could for some people, but for the mass majority of people, college is really just going to be some place. And so if you really want to make the most of your time here, you need to lock in. Even if you had a 4.0 GPA in high school, you're gonna find college classes are a lot harder. Sometimes you won't get that job or internship you applied for, even though you put forth your best effort. Not to be a downer, but it's not gonna be all sunshines and rainbows. But if you really put in the work, you can make it through just fine. Number 9, get over your League of Legends addiction. Having a video game addiction in college is gonna kill you. You're not gonna have enough time for studying, you're gonna be staying up way too late playing Elden Ring under your bed sheets, and you're not gonna get enough sleep. You're not gonna be able to go out and socialize because you're hard stuck gold. This isn't to say that video games and playing video games is inherently bad, but they aren't usually gonna lend themselves to enhancing your overall college experience. I'll be the one to say it, but this is really the time for you to lock in and grind school, not grind experience points for the Fortnite Battle Pass. I think party games like Smash and Mario Party are one thing because it's more of a socialization thing, but you really don't want to be spending your Friday nights playing Valorant alone in your room, especially if you want to make the most of your college experience. Number 10. Reflect on the kind of person you want to become. You are running out of time and need to figure out your life now. Not really, but you do want to start thinking of where you want to go, whether that be in terms of your academics, your life, and who you want to become as a person. College is a time for a lot of change and growth as a person, but you are the captain of your fate and you need to decide what direction you want to steer things in. Now is a really important time to take a step back and reflect. Who are you? Who do you want to be? It's okay to not have these answers right now, but especially as you take your first steps into college, this is something you are inevitably going to have to grapple with. So now is as good a time as any to start thinking about that. As someone who's going to be starting college really soon, there's a lot on your plate that you have to manage. And if you want to hear all the college advice you could ever possibly need, be sure to like and subscribe for more.